By the time of recording this video, the live event is only a few hours away, and I cannot be any more hyped for the live event because it's going to lead directly into Season 2 Lawless, which looks like to have a lot of potential with it, with all the teasers and crime and that Las Vegas looking ass sign. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, even Midas is coming back for this, and you know damn well every time Midas has come back into Fortnite, the storyline community just goes wild. I would say I'm part of that storyline community because I love the Fortnite storyline. But today we are going to discuss, is Chapter 6 Season 1 good? Yes, it is by far one of the best seasons we've had in so long. This comes directly after Remix in Fortnite Chapter 5. We all know Chapter 5 was just bad, but Chapter 6 Season 1 brought Fortnite back to its roots. And so today, I'm going to go over everything I loved about the season and just get all my thoughts out about this. First of all, let's talk about how amazing the Chapter 6 island feels. It is probably one of the best islands I think we have ever had. It actually feels like this place has a lot of history behind it, and that actually goes into the storyline of this season as well. The portals that opened up in the cinematic were like ancient ruins, essentially. Like, they've been closed off for so long, and there's a war with demons on the island at one point, and yeah, there was just a lot of history behind it. But even then, you go around the island and there's just so many small things. There's just all these tunnels you can go through, all these just hidden locations, and I swear every time I played the island, I was always finding something new. Even this week, there's some tunnel I found. It was in the mountains. I've never even seen that before. That's why I love this island, because there's so much to it. It does show a lot of the effort and care the devs put into this map, and I cannot be any more pleased with this map because it's just so good. There are so many great named locations. I love Seaport City. I love the gas station named Bird. Whiffy Wharf, underrated location. Every POI, if it has a similar theme, right? Because the island is all Japanese themed, but it just all connects together, and yet it feels different at the same time. I love this island, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with it in Season 2. I believe they're gonna bring in Crime City and other locations, but for right now, the island is so good. There's so many good locations. And even to the storyline this season is just really good. It brings back a lot of what Donald Mustard created in Fortnite. We have the Fox Clan back. We have the River Guard back, all from Chapter 4 Season 2. And it's just really exciting to see a lot of these old storyline characters actually come back and still have importance to the lore. This season still focuses on Hope and Jones from Chapter 5, and we're obviously getting a few new characters like Diego, Jade, and Kendo, and they all got a good storyline to them. They're siblings, and they all have different motives. Diego wants to use the magic that's been spread across the island, and Kendo, he thinks his brother's arrogant, and Jade thinks she just wants to fight off the demons or whatnot. I don't know. Still, nonetheless, the storyline's very great. The only thing that would have made this better is if there was voice line quests. I love the voice line quests. I hope we get those in Season 2. And I'm gonna say this again, Midas better have some voice lines, because we have not heard his voice in forever. I think the last time we did was in a cinematic trailer for the Burning Wolf or something like that. But anyways, storyline aside, the map, once again, it's just fabulous. It's fabulous. I'm always finding something new. Just too much. It's very great. Love it. Let's get into the gameplay of this season, because I think that's what most people care about, right? The gameplay this season is absolutely great. It brings back some older weapons. We have the hunting rifle back, railgun, and Reaper explosive repeater rifle, which are all great on vaults, by the way. and this is something I've been wanting Fortnite to do for a while, is just bring back older weapons. But that aside, even the new weapons feel great. Like the Hollow Twister AR, the Pump Shotgun, which I think that might be my favorite shotgun, and their Auto Shotgun this season, right? It's supposed to be like the drum gun. I think they actually did a good job of like keeping it balanced without being too overpowered, right? Because the last couple of like drum guns we've had, it's like the drum gun and then like the Auto Shotgun from Chapter 5. We all know that they dominated Chapter 5 when it was in the game. So I'm glad to see that Fortnite was able to take the drum gun concept, but able to keep it balanced and still a good shotgun nonetheless. But I gotta say, I love the pump though, and the Oni shotgun, it's pretty good. It reminds me of the Ranger. It's good. It has 2 shots. Because this is also a Japanese themed season, they have Oni masks, 2 of them, the Fire Oni masks and the Void Oni mask. And you can like throw that and throw portals, and there's just been a lot of good use with that. Like you get all these trick shots, and yeah, it's just really cool. I love the Fire Oni mask. It does a great amount of damage. Great cooldown as well. They didn't make that overpowered either. I think, once again, I'm saying this a lot, but yeah, every weapon is not really overpowered. Unless if you maybe consider the Hollow Twister with how accurate the aim is, but even then, it's still a really good weapon nonetheless. And I still feel like you can avoid those shots even though. But the only thing I would have liked to have seen is more Japanese themed weapons like nunchucks and bow staffs. But even then, the katanas that we got, the Typhoon Blade, and the Return of the Kinetic Blade were all great additions to have back in the loophole. I love the gameplay this season. I wish they could have added some more Japanese themed weapons like those nunchucks and the bow staffs, but still nonetheless really great. I love the gameplay. I love the unvaults. Very exciting. And even the boss fights. The boss fights this season are actually by far some of the best boss fights I think we've had since like maybe Chapter 2 or Chapter 3. Though Chapter 5 actually did bring in a few concepts, like the ways to summoning like the boss in Season 2. Boss is also driving around the island in Season 3 Wrecked. So Chapter 5 did have some great concepts, but even then, the boss fights didn't feel, they felt like even fighting the main boss, it didn't feel super good. Like, I mean, it just felt basic, right? But this season, the boss fights are actually quite terrifying. Shogun X especially. You can either spawn around the island, you can fight him to get like an enhanced mythic item of some sort, like I believe I've gotten like a pump shotgun once, and a hunting rifle, and I think an SMG. Shogun X is actually really powerful. I love his like attacks he throws at you, right? He's got the Fire Oni attacks, like all 3 Onis coming at you with a fiery attack, and then he sets the ground on fire, and like I feel like you actually have to really maneuver this guy. I've died several times to this boss, and if dying to this boss, it actually makes it feel that more rewarding to then go into the next game and then get his mythic items. His mythic items when he spawns in on the island are also really great. I believe he drops like 3 of them, one of them being the medallion, and then he drops, I believe, it's a shotgun, I believe. I could be wrong. I know he also drops like a Fire Oni mask too. Or maybe it's a Typhoon Blade he drops. Can't remember exactly right now, but you know what I mean. He drops a great stack of mythics, and they are all worth killing him for, especially even when he's on the ground, right? I just thought, I think the boss health when he's on the ground is much lower when he's on the island. Could be wrong. Also the health bar too, yeah. It's a huge health bar. I don't think we've seen any health bar like this before. He has a lot of health. No shield too, which is very nice. And we of course have the Night Rose boss at Demon's Dojo, which is also really good too. I love the way it's like set up. It feels like a traditional boss fight, but it adds another layer to it with like the puppeteer. Right, so you have to fight the puppeteer, then you have to fight the Night Rose, then you have to fight the puppeteer, and then finally you fight the Night Rose, and this goes back to the storyline. This has some lore significance where after you do that, you're like freeing the Night Rose temporarily from the Oni's control, which is very nice. I like to see that. I like to see these boss fights have like more story significance like that. So it's really cool. I really enjoyed the boss fights this season, and I believe Night Rose's item too. There's like an SMG, and her medallion granted you like a reload, and Void Oni mask I believe she gave. So that was really good. I also want to mention the sprites and the boons this season as well. They added to the map and made the map feel even more alive when you would see like these tiny sprites just running around the island. And there's like a slurp sprite and then there's an air sprite. They both gave really good abilities, each one respectively. The air sprite gave you mobility and the slurp sprite obviously gave you health. One critique though I had about the air sprite though was it had 3 uses, but you could only really throw it down once and then you can't really get it back. So it kind of made getting an air sprite kind of useless. And the only thing I think the air sprite really had use for was to bring it into the shrines that were on the map and then get the wind boon effect. So that's really the only use it really had, unless if you're just trying to make a quick rotation. You don't really care about the holding it into your inventory for that long. But still, nonetheless, these sprites were a really good addition to the game. I hope we see more next season if they continue to add more sprites. But if not, I would still like to see them next season, but I have a feeling they might get vaulted just to make room for everything else. Still, nonetheless, the sprites and the shrines were a really good addition to the gameplay and adds to the map. Last 2 things I want to talk about is the Winterfest event and the collabs this season. So let's talk about the Winterfest because it'll bring us directly into the collabs, as you'll see. So the Winterfest event I thought was really good. Obviously, I think it brought back the vibes that we had from like chapter 3. We had obviously the Winterfest cabin come back, and we had honestly something underrated not a lot of people talk about, and that was the winter investigation quests, where you would go around and you would just find out, see like if these people are like naughty or nice, and it's something small, right? But what I liked about it was every time you would talk to a character as part of that quest line, you would get like this black and white noir effect, and there'd be a music playing. It was something small in these quest lines, but it was just still so good. I would really like Fortnite to experiment more with like these visual effects that you would get every time you talk to a character. And I think even for storyline quests, these could actually be beneficial. So I really did enjoy seeing that. It's just something small, not a lot of people talk about it, but the quest line was still good. And even the presents this season were also really good. You got like Snoop Dogg, and there's some other like free skin. It was like a reskin of collabs for Christmas. Obviously, we had Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, and Shaq, all decoratively themed for Christmas. So I really like that, and that's gonna bring us into the collabs this season, which were all like almost all of them were Japanese themed. Like Fortnite made sure to keep most of them directly in line with like a Japanese anime cyberpunk kind of theme. Obviously, we did get Cyberpunk 2077 in the game, and then we also had like Batman, like a Batman ninja skin. We had a Darth Vader samurai skin. We had Godzilla, right? We had Godzilla and Kong, and I believe there's like a Godzilla anime that they also included in there. They also had Jujutsu Kaisen Wave 2, which I like. I've been getting into that show recently, so it was really cool to see another wave come out. Of course, I obviously have to mention Godzilla because he played an integral part of the gameplay, like midway through the season. Like after the Winterfest, he brought in the railgun back, and he brought in the quad launcher for a while. And of course, obviously, you could even play as Godzilla, and so it felt like going back to the roots of like Chapter 1, Season 4, where you would play as, like, Thanos for a limited time, which is very cool. I always love it when Fortnite can bring in, like, a collab and these super powerful items only one person can get. What I like about this, though, is that the way they handled even Godzilla as well, right? Because you could become Godzilla, and, of course, you're expected to die, right? You are expected to die, and when you die, the person that did the most damage to you will get a medallion, which was a reskin of a one we had from Chapter 5, but it was still good nonetheless, though. So I still really enjoyed that. And I mean, even playing as Godzilla just felt overpowered. It was though slightly underpowered because of how slow you walk, but I think being like a huge Titan, it's gonna, you're gonna probably walk slower. Still felt good. I feel like you could get a lot of kills with Godzilla. It was still really fun while it was in the game. Of course, obviously, dying as Godzilla wasn't an immediate death for you. You could rift back in. You didn't obviously get the medallion, but it was still good nonetheless. I really enjoyed the Godzilla collab and how they handled his mythic and playing as Godzilla. Chapter 6 Season 1 is probably one of the best seasons we have had in a while, and it is a really good season, and I cannot wait. Like I said, I cannot wait for the live event that's happening in a few hours and seeing how that's going to tie into the next season, Lawless. I am just all here for Chapter 6, right? I cannot wait to see what they do in Lawless. I'm really excited for that, especially with the return of Midas. And also the other gameplay features that we're going to have next season. It's just going to be a really fun time. Chapter 6, Season 1 delivered on its first season, and I really hope the rest of Chapter 6 will be just as good as this season, if not 10 times better. I really do think Fortnite is going back to its roots. We're getting unvaults. We're getting hit scan weapons back, obviously. We are getting so much good content right now. And we are getting, we're even getting live events back. And of course, Chapter 5 had many events, but nobody really likes those too much. I cannot wait to see what the rest of Chapter 6 has to offer. And if you like more Fortnite commentaries from me, make sure to comment that below. Tell me if you like these style of videos or not. And if you want to see more Fortnite content, and which if you do, subscribe to the channel. I also still post VR videos like Gun Raiders, VR Chat, and Yeeps, and Among Us. Those are like my main 4 games I will upload. Also some other videos as well. So if this is your first time to the channel, if you like VR content, if you like Fortnite content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also let me know in the comments what you think of this season. And I'll see you guys in the next video.